You left a note on the windowsill, handwritten in words that time can't still. Your pen skipped lines where tears have been. Like every page had a love taken. I trace your name in fading ink, feel every miss you in between. The rain taps slow against the glass, like whispers from the past. And every time I close my eyes, I see us in that summer light. You're halfway gone, but halfway here, holding on by mere belief. I'm reading letters in the rain, trying to hear your voice again. Your name rolls off my tongue like a hymn, a lullaby that never ends. You're a ghost in the hallway light, a shadow dancing in my night. If love is just a memory's trace, then I'll live in this fading space. Your sweater's folded by my chair, it still smells like your absent hair. The coffee's cold, the TV's off, but I'm still talking to your ghost. We used to watch the sky go gray and count the stars that dragged the day. You said goodbye with half a smile, like love could last a little while. And every time a clock resets, I'm back to where your fingers met. You're in the words I never wrote and dreams I never really woke. I'm reading letters in the rain, trying to hear your voice again. Your name rolls off my tongue like a hymn, a lullaby that never ends. You're a ghost in the hallway light, a shadow dancing in my night. If love is just a memory's trace, that I'll live in this fading space. No, any time is just a light, and we were never out of time. Maybe somewhere past the fade, we're still holding hands in the rain. If I could write one final page, I'd tell you all the things I missed. The way you smiled when you were tired, the way you stayed when I was scared. I'm reading letters in the rain, with every drop that calls your name. Your voice still hums upon my lips, the song that never truly slips. You're in the silence when I'm home, in every heartbeat all alone. If love is just a memory's trace, then let the sake be my embrace. So when the storm finally clears and daylight dries away the years, I'll keep your letters thin and warm, like promises that never tore. And if you ever find your way through all the distance and the gray, I'll be here where the rain began, reading your name, just reading your I still hear you in the hallway, footsteps fading in the air. Your laugh clings to every echo, like a song I can't repair. I reach for you in empty rooms, where the light still knows your face. Time rewinds inside my memories, in that quiet, tender space. And every night I shut my eyes, I see us in that summer rain. You're in the spaces between the notes, in every silent line. Your voice in my memory sings like a lullaby I never wrote. Every word you used to say has found its way into my thoughts. You're in the way the evening falls, and in the way the streetlights glow. If love is just a memory's tune, then let this song be how I go. I keep your old playlist on repeat, each song a little time machine. You used to say the best ones sting, so why do they feel so clean? Your favorite verse, our secret line, pressed in the cracks of my chest. I hum them when the world feels loud, and they always bring you back. And every time the sky turns gold, I'm right back at the start. You're in the way the silence grows around the space you left in my heart. Your voice in my memory sings like a lullaby I never wrote. Every word you used to say has found its way into my thoughts. You're in the way the evening falls, and in the way the streetlights glow. If love is just a memory's tune, then let this song be how I go. Maybe one day when the years fade, you'll hear me in the quiet then. My words will rise like gentle waves and carry us back again. I'll tell you all the things I missed in the moments when you weren't there. How even when we're miles apart, your voice is still the air I breathe. Your voice in my memory sings like a hymn that never learned to stop. Every note still calls your name in every breath I take. You're in the way the night stays slow, and in the way the stars align. If love is just a memory's trace, then let this ache be mine. So when the world forgets our names and time forgets the roads we've known, I'll keep your voice in my memory, soft and warm and all my own. And if you ever close your eyes in some far off distant place, you might just hear this gentle song whispering your name. We didn't plan it, we just stayed. Let the hours slip away. You laughed at things that weren't so funny. I learned to love the way you sway. Your head on my shoulder in the dark, your breath a rhythm on my chest. We didn't rush into the feeling, we just let it do the rest. And every time I thought it couldn't grow, you'd say one thing that made it true. You'd smile like you already knew. I was falling into you, I was falling into you slowly, like the quiet after rain. You were there before I noticed. Now you're woven in my veins. Every step we took together was a promise never planned. If love is just a gentle current, then I'm glad that I'm in your hands. We used to talk about the future, laugh at all the things we do. You said the best life needs no script, just two hearts that beat in tune. On the days the world feels heavy, you are my softest place to land. You don't need to say you love me, I can read it in your hands. And every time I start to doubt, you pull me back into the light. You say the stars are just like us, they burn because they're not alone tonight. I was falling into you slowly, like the moon pulls on the tide. You were there before I knew it, now you're here and I'm alright. Every look, every whispered name is a line I'll never erase. If love is just a gentle story, then I'm glad that we wrote this page. Maybe not every day will be soft and not every night will glow, but if we meet the heart in pieces, we'll still find our way back home. So hold my hand when shadows fall, and I'll be there to hold you too. We don't need to rush the ending, we've got all the time to move. I'm falling into you slowly, like the dawn comes on the shore. You're the reason I believe now that love is worth the wait and more. Every scar we bring along, you turn them into something new. If love is just a quiet rhythm, then I'm glad it's me and you. So when the years have written chapters and our hair begins to fade, I'll still be here beside you, watching all the memories we've made. And when you ask me why I stayed, I'll just say it's true to you. I was always falling into you from the very first hello. When the streetlights start to fade and the world begins to bend, that's when my mind starts to wander back to where we both began. You come to me in fragments, half-remembered smiles and sighs. Your silhouette against the window, dancing in the city lights. And every time the clock resets, I'm back to where your fingers met. You're in the quiet, in the hush, in the way the night forgot. When the night calls your name, I answer like it's you instead. The shadows all begin to shift, and for a moment you're in my bed. Your voice still hums in empty halls, like notes that never learn to fade. If love is just a midnight song, then this is where it's safely laid. it still smells like your hair. I know the morning will erase the ghost of you from everywhere. But tonight, while the world's asleep and the stars are soft and slow, I let myself believe you're here, just close enough to know. And every time the wind knocks soft, I swear I hear your gentle tread. You're in the pause between the seconds, in the silence overhead. When the night calls your name, I answer like it's you instead. The shadows all begin to blur, and for a moment I'm in your bed. Your voice still hums in empty halls, like a song that never really ends. If love is just a memory's trace, then let this ache be how it bends. So when the sun begins to climb and daylight chases all the shade, I'll fold the night up in my chest and keep your name inside. And if you ever feel a whisper in the quiet of your room, know it's just the night calling you with love that never leaves too soon. We're just shadows on the window, dancing in the city glow. Your hand in mine feels like a promise, written in the afterglow. Every step we take together leaves a trace upon the air. I swear the stars lean down to watch us, like they've seen this love somewhere. And every time the light turns gold, you tilt your face up to the sky. You say the world feels smaller here, with me beside you, close and shy. Silhouettes of us on the wall, like a story writing its own past. Every curve, every line, every fall shows the love that will always last. We're just outlines in the dark, but our hearts are painted in full. If time can steal our faces, let it leave these shadows where we stood. I remember rainy afternoon drives, singing songs we barely knew. You turned the world into a movie, every scene made brighter by you. You said our lives wouldn't look like pictures, they'd feel like music in the air. Now every time I see a street light, I see us standing there. And every time the street lights flare like stars come down to meet the ground, I swear I'd see two faded shapes still dancing, still around. Silhouettes of us on the wall, like a story writing its own past. Every curve, every light, every fall shows the love that will always last. We're just outlines in the dark, but our hearts are painted in full. If time can't steal our faces, let it leave these shadows where we stood. Maybe one day we'll be older, sitting on a porch with tea. You'll point out at the driveway, smile and say, remember that night? We'll talk about the way we argued and where we always made it right. You'll say love's not in the perfect scenes, it's in the shapes we left behind the light. Silhouettes of us on the wall, like a secret that our hearts will keep. Every curve, every line, every fall is a line of love that never sleeps. We're just outlines in the dark, but our hearts still beat the same old song. If time can steal our faces, better leave these shadows here so and the pictures lose their hue. I'll still step here in the garden, trace the shape of you. And if you ever see two shadows stretched against some city wall, smile, because that's just us, still dancing after all. We used to lie out on the roof, counting stars we never knew. You said every light was someone's heart pulsing in a sky so blue. You'd point to one and say, that's ours, like you knew our secret name. And I'd smile half asleep and think I'd never love like this again. Now every time the night feels wide, I look for where a star might be, somewhere past the Milky Way, still burning quietly. Where the stars remember, I still see your hand tucked in my hand. Where the sky remembers, I still feel the way you used to stand, just facing me like I was home, like I was all you knew. If love is just a constellation and ours is shining through, I still wear your old jacket when the evening air feels thin. It smells like campfire, city lights in the places we've been. You said the stars would watch us if we ever came apart, but you'll know I'm thinking of you. You said, by the way the sky's still warm. Now every time the clouds clear out, I see the same old sky tonight. I wonder if you're up somewhere, letting your thoughts take flight. Where the stars remember, I still see your voice inside my head. Where the sky remembers, I still feel the way you used to breathe, like every breath was tied to mine, like the universe agreed. If love is just a constellation, then ours is never dead. Maybe we're just tiny lights in a much bigger sky, but for a moment we were bright, and that's enough to justify all the nights I still look up and talk to you up there. I tell you all the things I couldn't say when you were standing here. Where the stars remember, I still hear the sky remembers. I still hold the shape of you with ease. If time can steal our faces, let it leave our stars in place. If love is just a gentle light, then ours still fills the space. So if one day our paths collide, or if we drift apart, I'll know that somewhere overhead you're still in my heart. And when the night feels long and cold, I'll tilt my face up high and say, I'm still here, I'm still yours. To the stars that never I keep the photographs in order, dates written underneath. Every smile you thought was small now feels too heavy to repeat. Your hair was shorter, my eyes younger. The world was softer, not so loud. We didn't know we were collecting moments. We just thought we had time to spare. And every time I turn the page, I feel the years pull back again. You're right there, just out of reach, in that same old easy grin. I'm holding on to yesterday, like it might slip right through my hands. Every second that we wasted now feels like a gift I didn't understand. If time could be a photograph, I'd keep you right where you began. If love is just a memory, then let it stay just as it was. I still remember tiny things, the way you stir your tea, the way you'd hum while you folded clothes, the way you'd run to me. You'd say we'll make new memories, like we were running out of time. Now I wonder if you knew somehow that we'd be living in the past inside my mind. Every time your street light flickers, I see you walking down the street. I almost call your name, then catch myself, and the moment disappears. I'm holding on to yesterday like a promise I can't let go. Every joke we never finished now echoes in the afterglow. If time could pause between the frames, I'd keep you shining in that light. If love is just a memory, then let it stay just like last night. Maybe we'll grow older, but different faces, different names. Maybe with other sparks and other flames. But if one of us looks back and says things were softer then, I'll know we're thinking of the same soft hands and the same old quiet world again. I'm holding on to yesterday like a blanket on a freezing night. Every word we never said now feels like something I still might. If the present starts to fade and the future feels too far, I'll pull out those old worn-around pages and meet you where we are. I'll press your face against my chest inside the corners of my mind, and for a moment you'll be here, just the way you left behind. And if you ever feel a tug in the quiet of your room, no, it's just me holding yesterday and whispering your name into the gloom. You don't need to say you love me when the room is filled with light. You just sit beside me quietly, and somehow everything feels right. You hand me tea without a question, pull the blanket off my chair. You know the way I'm hurting, but you never say it there. And when the world feels far too loud, you turn the volume down. You don't fix the things that break, you just sit and hold the ground. It's the quiet way you stay that keeps the dark away. You don't need to change the sky, you just change the way it feels to cry. You don't need to rearrange every shadow on the wall. You just sit there close and near, and that's enough to hold it all. You watch the storm from window seats and hum a song you never knew. You say the clouds will pass us by, and I believe it's true. You don't ask for all the reasons, you don't need to see the pain. You just let your hand rest on my knee like a soft, familiar name. And when the night begins to spin, you pull me closer to your side. You don't pray for miracles, you just stay and be my guide. It's the quiet way you stay that keeps the dark away. You don't need to find the words, you just breathe right next to me. You don't need to rearrange every mess inside my mind. You just sit there calm and kind, and that's enough to change my mind. Some people shout their love out loud and build it tall and bright, and just lean into the space between and make it feel like home at night. You're the kind of love that doesn't rush, doesn't beg for a center view. You just show up simply there, and that's all I need from you. It's the quiet way you stay, it makes the world feel okay. You don't need to chase the sun, you just sit right where I'm from. You don't need to wipe my tears, you just let them fall and stay. Because the quiet way you stay is how I learned to face the day. So when the years begin to stack and the edges start to blur, say a word. You were there, and that was all. A steady, soft, and ordinary light. And if love is just a quiet thing, then you're the reason it still feels right. And when the noise of life gets loud, I'll close my eyes and hear your name whispered in the quiet where you stay. I walked 1,000 city streets, and every signpost spelled your name. I followed all the wrong directions just to feel you close again. Train windows blurred the passing lights like memories I couldn't keep. Every mile said your favorite song, and every station whispered deep. I told myself I'd let you go, but my heart never knew the way. Every road I tried to take just led me back to yesterday. Every step back to you feels right, even when the years have gone. Every wrong turn, every flight brings me closer where I belong. If love is just a stubborn road, and I'll walk it till I'm through. Every misstep, every mile is a line that leads to you. I kept your number in my phone, uncalled, untouched, but never gone. On nights when silence felt too loud, I traced the ghost of what went wrong. I learned the way the taxis blink, the rhythm of the foreign raid. I learned a way to miss you there, just like I missed you back again. And every time the city changed, I still felt your familiar air. You're in the spaces between trains, and every streetlight's empty stare. Every step back to you feels right, even when the years are run. Every wrong turn, every night brings me closer where love begun. If love is just a stubborn road, then I'll walk it through the gray. Every misstep, every mile is the line that leads to you one day. Maybe distance gave us space to grow, maybe time taught us what's true. Now every echo in my chest says there's still a path to you. If the stars are just our scattered maps, and let them point the way, I follow every tiny sign that says come back today. Every step back to you feels calm, like I'm finally coming home. Every border that I crossed was just a prelude to your tone. If love is just a patient friend, then it stood beside my side. Every step back to you leads to the place where I should have stayed. So when my feet are finally there and your hand is in my hand, I'll tell you breathless, tired, glad I never really left the plan. Because every wrong turn, every test, Every road that felt like no was just a step that led me back to where I always knew I'd go. Back to you. Moonlight falls across your pillow like a ribbon on the bed. You're half awake and half in dream, softly tracing patterns on the thread. I watch you breathing like a song, rising slow against the night. Every little sound you make turns the silence into light. You turn your face toward the window and the silver touches you. You look like something borrowed from a dream, someone I get to keep in view. Moonlight on your side of the roof paints the edges of your grace. You don't need to say a thing, just lying there is all it takes. If love is just a quiet glow, then this is how it starts to show. Moonlight on your side of the bed is the closest to heaven I've ever stepped. I used to think that grand romance meant fireworks and crowded streets. You taught me love lives in a hush where two hearts skip in quiet beats. You hum a line from some old song, half mumbled in the dark. I don't know all the words you sing, but I know this is my heart's home. And when the world feels sharp and loud, you're my softest place to land. You don't need to change the sky, you just shift a little in my hand. Moonlight on your side of the room weaves the shadows into lace. Every line your body makes comes alive in that soft space. If love is just a gentle light, then this is how it learns to stay. The bed is the quiet where I choose to stay. Maybe one day we'll be older, sitting by a window slow. You'll say, remember late night talks when the curtains danced like glow. We'll laugh at all the tiny things we never thought would last. You'll say love's not in the big scenes, it's in the moonlight on my side of the past. Moonlight on your side of the room still remembers every word. Every time I close my eyes, you're the first thing that I've heard. If life moves on too fast to hold, let this moment stay the same. Moonlight on your side of the bed is the quiet where I call my name. So when the world begins to I'll still find you in the dark when the moonlight waits for you. And if you ever feel a touch, soft and warm and close to skin, oh, it's just the moonlight on your side, where I've always meant to be. I found a page inside your notebook, half erased and folded in, a line of lyrics never finished, like a story we began. You wrote about a summer window and the way the light would bend. You said if love is just a song, then ours is incomplete. Now I pick the pieces up like fragile glass from off the floor. Every word you left behind still means so much and more. These fragments of a love song scattered on the floor of time. Every missing note I hear still fits the space you left. Didn't write the ending, but you wrote the sweetest start. If love is just a melody, I'll sing it back to your heart. I'll hum the parts you never finished, over tea and silent nights. I fill the gaps with softer lines, trying to make it right. You once said some songs are meant to stay a little out of tune. Now I wonder if you meant all the days we came too soon. And every time I close my eyes, I see the draft page in your hand. You circled one small sentence, then you left it on the stand. These fragments of a love song still hum inside my chest. Every word that you abandoned got a home inside my breath. It didn't sing the final verse, but I can't hear it clear. If love is just a quiet echo, then I'll sing it close to you near. Maybe we were just a sketch of something grander still. But even half a picture painted has its own soft, honest glow. So if one day you find your song again, scattered in the air you breathe, you'll know I turned the fragments into something you could keep. These fragments of a love song still stay in every room. Every time the silence falls, I can hear your gentle tune. You didn't finish where we are, but you lit the opening line. If love is just a little song, then I'll keep it yours and mine. So when the years have folded all the pages we once wrote, I'll still return these pieces with every note devoted. And if you ever feel a whisper in the quiet of your room, know it's just this love song singing softly your name in the gloom. If you were here tonight, we'd leave the dishes in the sink. We'd turn the music down too low and let the quiet start to sing. You'd crawl into my favorite chair, pull your knees up to your chest. You'd say the world can wait, and I'd say love deserves the best. But the couch is half unoccupied and the blanket's folded wrong. I'll pour 2 cups of tea for one and hum the songs we both still know. If you were here tonight, the silence wouldn't feel so wide. You'd fill the gaps between the seconds with the way you always tried. If you were here tonight, I wouldn't count the seconds ticking. I'd just watch the way the shadows danced across your quiet blinking. If you were here tonight, then missing you to lose its name, you'd be right here in my arms, and love wouldn't feel like a game. I scroll through photos from the summer, smiles we never thought would fade. You're laughing at some dumb old joke, and the sun is in your face. You said, don't you dare forget this, like we were writing our last page. Now I wish I told you then we'd miss this in exchange for age. And every time a street light blinks, I'd picture you right next to me. You'd lean your head against my shoulder and say, this is where we ought to be. If you were here tonight, the room would feel like a soft embrace. You'd hum the lines you never finish and smile at my tired face. If you were here tonight, I wouldn't need to chase the stars. You'd point out at the window and say they're not half as bright as ours. If you were here tonight, then distance wouldn't be just a word. You'd be the one beside me without the need for songs unheard. Maybe we're just learning how to love when we're apart. You're in the way I fold the sheets, and in the way I say your name. With every night without you is a lesson in your grace. Then I learn it slowly with every empty space. If you were here tonight, I'd hold you like a lullaby. You'd say, don't you ever let me go. And I'd say, I'll try. If you were here tonight, then time would lose its heavy weight. We'd trade the ticking for your heartbeat and make a world out of our fate. So when the evening settles down and the sky turns soft and deep, I'll close my eyes and breathe you in, where the stars still keep your name. And if you ever feel a pull when the night is at its height, know it's just me saying softly, if you were here tonight. If you are here tonight, if you were here tonight, we'd leave the dishes in the sink. If you were here tonight, if you were here tonight, if you were here tonight, if you were here tonight. There's something in the way you say my name, like you've known it all along. You stretch the vowels just long enough to make the whole room feel like home. You say hello when I'm half asleep, like a secret on your tongue. You say it bright when I walk through the door, and it's the first thing that my heart hears when it's numb. You don't say it like the world does, hurried, sharp, or clipped in time. You say it like a gentle promise, like you're practicing how to recite my life. I could walk 1,000 faces blind and still know you by how you say my name. Every syllable still feels like home, like a song I never wrote but somehow know. If love is just a single sound, then this is where it learned to stay. There's comfort in the way you say, hey, it's me at the end of the day. You say it's soft when I'm upset, like you're holding every tear. You say it quick when I'm running late, like you trust that I'll reappear. You say it different in the dark, half a whisper, half a sigh. You say it like a safety net that catches every time I try. And every time the world feels cold, I hear your voice inside my head. You say my name the way the sky says, don't be afraid of what's ahead. I could walk 1,000 faces blind and still know you by how you say my name. Every syllable still feels like calm, like a touch that never fades away. If love is just a quiet note, then this is how it learns to stay. There's beauty in the way you say my name again, again, again. Maybe years will change the cracks in both our voices as we age. Maybe we'll forget 1,000 words, but not the way you spoke my name. You'll say it's softer when we're old, with every breath a little thin, but it will still feel like the first time when I first let you in. I could walk 1,000 faces blind and still feel you by how you called my name. Every time the silence tries to shout, your voice will still be there to tame. If time unmakes 1,000 things, let this small sound remain the same. Let love be measured by the way you say my name again, again, again. So when the years have turned the pages and the world feels far away, I'll still remember how you said it, like it mattered more than every single day. And if you ever feel a whisper in the quiet of your room, know it's just my heart repeating how you said my name into the gloom. We're wrapped in sheets of fading light, the day still warm upon our skin. The city hums outside the window, but in here everything feels thin. You trace a line across my chest, like you're reading where I've been. You say we're just two tired hearts, but somehow that feels like a hymn. The world can wait beyond the door, its noise can wait until the dawn. In this room the air is soft and the night is drawn. We're softly in the afterglow, where the edges blur and fade. Every touch feels like a promise, every breath a gentle blade. You don't have to say you love me when the silence knows your name. We're softly in the afterglow of the life we're building, slow and tame. You kick the blankets off your feet and curl right into my side. You say I'm not too heavy, am I? And I just shake my head inside. No, your light is summer rain, even when the world feels dense. You're the calm inside the chaos, the only peace I make my sense. And every time the street light flickers, it paints our shapes upon the wall. You say we're just a tiny story, but I see it all. We're softly in the afterglow, where the clock has lost its tone. Every heartbeat feels like home, and every breath feels like a phone, calling out to something deeper, something neither one can say. We're softly in the afterglow of love that's found its way. Maybe one day we'll look back at nights like this and call them small, but in this moment they're enormous. They're the quiet where we fall. You don't need to chase the fireworks, you just need a steady flame. You're the warmth, the just the same. We're softly in the afterglow, where the hours gently bend. Every word we leave unspoken feels like something we can spend. If love is just a quiet light, then this is where it learns to stay. We're softly in the afterglow of the life we're building day by day. So when the night finally surrenders to the pale and sleepy sky, I'll still feel your head on my shoulder like a lullaby. And if you ever wake up wondering what made your heart feel so at ease, know it's just this soft, slow moment floating in the afterglow with me. I left my words inside this song, like letters folded in the dust. Every line I wrote for you, and every note I trusted. If love were just a message, I'd write it in the sky. Instead I set it in this silence, where the quiet knows how to fly. And every time you press play, I'm standing there again. In every breath between the verses, I'm right there by your side, just out of sight, but close enough to feel the way you sigh. Your message is love, I'm sending back to you. Every word I left behind, I'm wrapping warm and true. If time can't keep us in one place, let music build a space. Every note a little road back to your embrace. Message is love, I'm sending back to you. If I can't say it in the room, then let it sing it through. You once said love wears 1,000 faces, depending on the light. Sometimes it's laughter in the hallway, sometimes it's holding tight. You said it also live in silence, in the pauses and the breaks, in the way you say I'm here without the need to make it plain. And every time the night feels long, you press this song and close your eyes. You don't know whose voice you're hearing, but it feels like home inside. A message is love, I'm sending back to you. Every thought I never shared, woven in the blues. If distance makes the heart feel thin, let this album be the thread. Every track a little thread, tying us inside your head. Message is love, I'm sending off to you. If I can't hold your just a stranger in the sound, but you'll feel that someone loves you, and that's enough to unbreak the ground. Messages of love I'm sending back to you. Every tear I hid in verses, every secret kept in view. If time can write a perfect end, let this be our gentle start. Every song inside this thread is just the keys of my heart. Messages of love I'm sending back to you. If you ever feel alone out there, press play and I'll be true. So when the years have folded all the pages we once wrote, and every line feels like a trace of something that we both once chose, you'll still hear my voice inside the spaces where the notes remain. You'll know that messages of love never really went away. And if you ever close your eyes and feel warmth against your skin, oh, it's just this final song whispering your name again, saying softly, I'm still here, like a promise